When the storms get east of the mountains, they encounter more fuel. Dew points have been in the 60s, and so that's why we have potential for heavy rain. In fact, the flash flood watch continues for a good chunk of the area through the middle part of the evening. So what's going to happen here is that the storms over the mountains are going to move across the lower elevations. And for a lot of us, south of the Arkansas River, about from the Springs off to the southeast, actually, who've been quiet through the afternoon, probably going to change up this evening as that wave gets overhead and starts pulling the atmosphere up. So not every storm is going to do this. Now, we've had some storms move through El Paso County that haven't been as strong as some of the other storms in the area, so we've turned the atmosphere over a little bit. But some of them that are out there tonight could put down 1 to 2 inches of rain. With the rain that we had yesterday and the fact that some of these storms are going to last for a while tonight, just be aware that there's potential for flash flooding, especially if you get under one of the stronger storms. There might be a couple lingering storms over the mountains into early Thursday morning, but things will, as they generally do, be in the process of quieting down. There's a couple things I need you to know about Thursday. We'll be a little bit warmer. Well, also, I think there's going to be fewer areas of storms, but the ones that are out there could still put down some heavy rain. Still lots of water from the surface up through the column. And there may be some storms as outflow starts developing in the afternoon that interact with the terrain and still maybe put down more than an inch of rain. I think the chance of most of us getting that tomorrow is just lower than the last few days. I mean, you still saw some storms there, and here's Skycast at 7:30, still pinging some pretty heavy ones over the Palmer Divide, but the coverage was a little bit less. Hopefully you noticed that. I think that trend continues into Friday as well as we start to shift the high pressure off to the west and begin a drying trend into the weekend, and I've got that in the extended forecast. Thanks for watching Peaks to Plains Weather. Did you know I'm live here every Monday through Friday at 6:30 in the morning? Yeah, so get your favorite cup. I've got mine. Fill it up. We'll talk about the weather forecast for the hours and day ahead, for the week ahead, some interesting facts and all kinds of fun. I love highlighting what makes Southern Colorado such a great place to be. And you can even join me live on the show. Yeah, there are opportunities to do that. So start your day off the right way. Mornings with Meister live at 6:30 Monday through Friday, right here on Peaks to Plains Weather.
Enjoy the true taste of Colorado at Colorado Mountain Brewery. Dig into our famous burgers, entrees, and appetizers. Then kick back on our scenic mountain view patios and pair it all with one of our award-winning craft beers. Reserve your table at cmbrew.com.
Grow something beautiful this season. Hydrix.
Well, it was sure busy yesterday. It's time to take a look at the forecast across the area, neighborhood by neighborhood, town by town, and street by street across southern Colorado. I am Matt Meister. You, of course, are on Peaks to Plains weather. And I want to give you a sort of aerial look or a widespread look at where the heaviest rain was yesterday. And the bright greens are kind of the dividing line between over and under an inch of rain. And I'll put some reports on here from CocoRa's, which you can check out at cocoras.org. It's Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network. It's dedicated weather observers that are trained and have really good rain gauges, and you can see that the numbers matching up with what the radar was estimating. And because we've got storms in the forecast today that I think are going to produce some heavy rain again over some of the same areas that had heavy rain yesterday, a flash flood watch is up for southern Colorado. It does include the Aspen Acres Fire that had flash floods and debris flows yesterday in quite a few drainages and made for, we knew one of these days was going to bring a big movement of ash, debris, and mud, and that was the case on Tuesday. High pressure off to our south is going to bring a wave across the area today, so as we hit the afternoon, we've got more storms in the forecast, and they will roll from west to east across the area today and last until the late part of the evening. I think in the Pikes Peak region, temperatures are down a little bit from yesterday, and the storms may be an hour or so later. They still kind of work from west to east. Get hit with one, could easily get more than a half inch of rain. A spot or two, especially if you get hit by a couple of storms, could get more than an inch again. Overnight tonight, things will shift from west to east through the evening, so we end up pretty quiet and end up in the 50s and 60s as we begin Thursday. Over the mountain areas, even prior to lunch, we start to see the clouds building vertically, and then things will spread over the valleys, move east of the mountains as we head through the afternoon. Anything lingering into the evening will be much lighter than the initial round of storms that are driven by the wave coming in from the west. Over the southern mountain areas, kind of the same story again. Watching Aspen Acres Fire closely. It was the northern part of the fire that got hit hardest on Tuesday. We'll see if it's the same area or maybe the southern end that gets hit more today. But potential for heavy rain again with the storms here, and then everything's kind of shifting away from the area as we move through the evening, and we're in the 50s and 60s by Thursday morning, so there's still a lot of water in the air as we move past Wednesday. So if you miss a storm today, you still could get one tomorrow, even into Friday, before things change up for the weekend. This will be one of our cooler days, though. Over the plains here, we're looking low to mid-90s for a lot of us, hottest in the southeast corner of the state. I don't think anybody's hitting 100 today. And then 60s again as we move into Thursday morning. And it'll take, especially out near the Kansas line, maybe past midnight for some of the storms to finally get out of here. Over the Palmer Divide, man, the Elbert County Fair got hit with a big thunderstorm on Tuesday. Pig shows on the way tonight. We'll hope storms are east of the area by then. Of course, a lot of us out here want the rain. We'll take it, even if it impacts some of our activities. And quieter weather is on the way into early Thursday morning. But even though there may not be as many storms around Thursday and Friday, there's still the threat of heavy rain. I'll talk about that in a weekend warm-up. Coming up here on Peaks to Plains Weather 24/7.
After 30 years and successfully restoring literally thousands of vehicles, DentWorks, the #1 rated hail damage removal shop in Colorado Springs, understands that the key is love. We love what we do because there is an art to finish restoration. It is truly an art form that saves your vehicle's finish and leaves the integrity of its body intact without the need for repainting. We take pride in a reputation built by customers who share their experiences and results working with DentWorks. Hailstorms affect communities, and for 16 years, we have been here for Colorado Springs at the same location. Dent and hail damage can leave you feeling helpless. DentWorks assures you that what seems like a hopeless situation is not. We will remove damage and restore your vehicle to your satisfaction and our exacting standards. We love our customers and make it simple for you to move easily through the process of restoring your vehicle to where you loved it. Contact DentWorks at 636-3368 or visit us at dentworkscoloradosprings.com. To see why DentWorks customers love our work, check us out at Yelp and Google. DentWorks, the fine art of paintless dent removal since 1988.
Well, we're in the middle of summer. I am at Hydrix, Colorado Tree Farm Nursery to check in on what to do if you want to plant. Significant rain on the way. All right. For those of you that are joining our coverage here, some pretty significant weather occurring now in the Aspen Acres Fire. We are getting flooding in the Pueblo area, but let me take you to the Aspen Acres burn, and I'm going to show you a couple of different viewpoints from a camera on the southwest side of Beulah. You can see that the heaviest rain has now moved on, but in the last hour, we have had more than an inch of rain just off to the southwest of Beulah. And 12 Mile, there's been some significant water coming down this. And you can see here where we are measuring more than an inch of rain. This is over the last 3 hours. Let me show you the last hour here, because this processes a little bit quicker. And let me show you that now. And you can see that in some spots, we're around an inch and a half. So here are two different camera views from Game Gulch at Highway 78 in Beulah. This was at 7:05. That is very, very vigorous flow there. The flooding is reported to be more significant than yesterday. A home was floating down the creek somewhere in the Beulah area near Highway 78 and Squirrel Creek. It was taking down power poles and propane tanks. 5 homes have structural damage. There are bridges that are damaged and not structurally sound. The Weather Service is talking to the Pueblo County Emergency Manager, Josh Johnson, on the phone right now. And here is the latest image that I have from the same area here. This gives you an idea of the flooding. And the flood waters are starting to recede. A new image just popped in. Let me get that into my system here, and I will show you that. I should have a time lapse also coming up here in just a little bit, but let me add this latest image for you. And so here's what it looks like now, 7:25. So this is as of 3 minutes ago. So let me run through this time image here for you over the last half hour. Okay, so at 7:05, the flooding was very vigorous. Then at 7:20, it was still flowing good and had pulled back a little bit. And then at 7:25, you can see that the waters are receding. So there was a wave of water coming down the hillside there. And that's why we have the flash flood emergency. Also, according to Josh Johnson, the Pueblo County emergency manager, a home was floating down Squirrel Creek, again has taken out power poles, propane tanks. 5 homes have structural damage, and there are bridges that are not structurally sound. So this is the second night in a row of significant issues in the Aspen Acres Fire, and crew, we knew that this was going to be the case. It is difficult to see, to experience, and to understand. But if you are just joining us again, here's what it has looked like. A little bit after 7 o'clock, the flood wave coming down, and then still flowing good at 7:20. And at 7:25, the water's receding. Man, tough to, I feel so bad for everyone that is in this area and dealing with this. It's just so difficult to see and to, my heart just goes out to you guys. So let's zoom in to where this is here. So right on the southwest end of town, near Pueblo Mountain Park and Blue Spruce Road in this area, on South Pine Drive, Highway 78 is called in Beulah. This is where Highway 78 dumps out of the foothills there. And so let me give you a perspective of, oh man, just a couple different drainages here having some issues. So South Creek and Squirrel Creek, right where this heaviest rain is, are having issues. And the camera is located where South Creek runs right along Highway 78 here and then meets Squirrel Creek to the north. And again, the report I have is that a home has come down the hillside this afternoon as well. And I got to be honest with you, my friends, that it just rips your heart out. It truly does. And I feel for everyone in this area. So this is right by the Horseshoe Lodge and Retreat Center. Again, on the southwest side of Beulah. So let's do this. I'm going to take this data off here, and I want to give you some perspective. So this is right where these images that I'm showing you are from. Game Gulch here, it's called. And you can see how in the last half hour, things have changed pretty significantly. But as this most significant flood wave was coming down the hills, it's been very challenging and very difficult night, again, for the second night in a row. So now what I want to do is I want to take my camera here and I want to look at how the terrain plays a role in this. So we're going to kind of come down to near ground level, and you can see Beulah Valley there. And I'm going to rotate this off to the northwest. And you can see how Squirrel Creek comes out of some pretty steep terrain there. And I'm going to bring it a little bit farther to the west here. And you can see how South Creek is pretty steep as well. And then both of those drainages come into the valley here on the southwest side. So we're looking due west into the fire. And then if I take you up to the north a little bit more, you can see Beulah and Beulah Valley there. So again, the report we have is that a home came down Squirrel Creek. This is from the emergency manager in Pueblo County. Propane tanks and power poles have been damaged, and also there are some bridges that have sustained some damage and are not structurally sound. So it's the southern end, the southwestern corner here of Beulah Valley where we are getting the biggest impacts this evening. And I just want to see if this time lapse gets this in there. It doesn't yet. Reload this page. I want to get that in there as quick as I can. Here's a new image. I'm going to pull that into my system as well. And you can see that waters are still flowing, but the flow is definitely pulling back now that the heaviest rain is out of the area. So let me grab this for you. So here is the newest image from Game Gulch. So again, I'm going to walk you through this timing here. So here's 5 minutes after. Here's 20 minutes after. 25 after. And now 30 after. So it's about 5 minutes ago now. And you can see how all of that has changed. We've got more mud in the channel there. And man, some significant issues off to the south of Beulah, kind of the southwest side of Beulah Valley. So again, Squirrel Creek coming out here of this terrain in the Aspen Acres Fire flows down into the valley. We've had some significant flow this evening. And also out of South Creek, we have had some significant flow. I'm hopeful that these three-dimensional areas here are helpful to you. So if I could reset a little bit, now that we are at 7:36 on this Wednesday evening, you're on Peak Plains Weather. I am Matt Meister. So we are looking here off to the southwest of Pueblo, near Beulah on Highway 78. And in the last hour and a half, we have had significant rain in this area. Here is the radar estimation of rain over the last 3 hours. And I'm going to show you in just the last hour here, and we'll measure this. And the bright green that you are seeing is where we've had more than an inch of rain. So kind of down on the southwest side of the valley here, and some of the creeks that are coming out of the valley is where we have seen some significant issues. So I'm going to fly us down into the southern part. We're looking due west, Squirrel Creek and South Creek, and you can see the terrain there that comes into the southwest side of the valley. Here's what has happened in the last 40 minutes. At 7:05, very significant flow coming out of the creeks here. This is at Game Gulch, and a camera that the United States Geological Survey has installed. And in a short amount of time, we went from no flooding to serious flooding, and then still swift flow at 7:20. Water starting to recede at 7:25, and then at 7:30, there's still flow in the creek there, but you can see it is what I would describe as below life-threatening levels. So the flash flood warning here has been up for quite some time, and so hopefully the residents in this area, if you're watching from this area, have been ready to seek higher ground. In returning home, everybody knew this was a risk and an issue with the hot burning up on the hillsides here off to the west of Beulah Valley, just making the ground not able to hold water. And we have a flash flood emergency that continues for this area this evening. The flash flood emergency in this location continues here for the next couple of hours, and has been another night of some challenging flow. We also have word from the emergency manager in Pueblo County that a home has come down Squirrel Creek. As that was happening, power poles and propane tanks have been taken out. 5 homes have received some damage from that, and there are some bridges somewhere along Squirrel Creek, probably off to the west of Highway 78, that are structurally not sound. And so there's going to be lingering issues here for residents. And so that's where we sit. Peaks to Plains Weather is our weather together. If you know someone in this area and you would like to join our coverage, if you would like to share your thoughts here, we would appreciate you coming on and sharing stuff with us. I agree with Annie that this is devastating news. Tornadoes and More asks if it will flood in Colorado Springs. Up to the north, we don't have rain occurring to the level that we do off to the south. You can see the heaviest storms here, and the severe thunderstorms are off to the south of Pueblo. And the heaviest rain has moved out of the fire. We're still getting some moderate rain on the southwestern flank of the fire here around Rye, San Isabel, off to the west, but it's nothing like what we had earlier. So again, we've got, it's just devastating news to hear that. It really upsets me. I feel so bad for everyone in that area. I'm sure that we will get some additional video, some additional photographs of this here over the next hours. Obviously, the priority of all of the first responders is to make sure that everyone in this area is safe and is out of harm's way. Some people may be needing help this evening. That is certainly a possibility. And you understand that that is of highest priority, no doubt about that, and it should be. So, flood moving down the The drainage is here, continues. Highway 78 is closed at mile marker 14. And second night in a row. Here's what it looked like last night. Let me show you these pictures that we had. And the word from the scene, from the Pueblo emergency manager, is that tonight has been more significant. And it certainly sounds like that for sure. So yesterday we had big trees that were in the area. We had trailers or farm implements that were buried by some of the flooding, some of the debris flows that were out there. And again, tonight it looks like it's been more significant. This flood water is going to continue to move down the drainage system. So areas farther to the east, let me take you back up to the north now, across Beulah Valley, and we'll come back up here. So Middle Creek comes into Beulah, Squirrel Creek, North Creek coming in from the north. That all ends up in the North St. Charles River, and then in the St. Charles River, heading off to the east, crossing I-25, and heading into the Arkansas River. There will be a number of hours here where all of this water is going to flow down this channel into eastern Pueblo County, onto the east side of town. And so these waters will come up later on tonight. The flooding is not going to be, in all likelihood, life-threatening in these areas, in Vineland, off on the east side of Pueblo. But, man, closer to the hills and in the burn, it has been significant this evening. So heads up in Beulah, Central Avenue. Let's see, Central Avenue and Highway 78. All of these areas, should be ready for these floodwaters to move through here on the east side of the valley. Crossing Highway 78 here could be impacted by some of this debris flow as well. And I agree with Tornadoes and More that one of the best things you could do is to pray for these people. I am a man of prayer, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. See if this new time lapse catches this here. I'll try to reload this. There's a little bit of a lag with the time lapsing here. All right. You have any questions, my friends? This is probably the best thing to do, as Tornadoes and More has shared. It just rips my heart up. Really, really does. The amount of rain in the last 2 days has been a lot more significant than what we have seen leading up to the last 2 days. But the fire was moving and was kind of staging to move debris and ash as the heaviest rain arrived in the last 2 days. So, we had a couple weeks at least to be ready for this. Hopefully there were plans from residents in the area, but to hear that a house has moved down the creek is very, very unfortunate and kind of takes things to a different level, obviously, as you know. We do have ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me talk about those for a second here. The intensity of these is weakening, but we've got very heavy rain in southeastern Pueblo County. There's still a strong storm kind of outside of the severe thunderstorm warnings off to the northwest of Walsenburg. Getting some pretty decent rain across Pueblo. Colorado Springs getting another night of some rain here, but nothing like what is happening a little bit farther to the south. The time frame of the flash flood emergency is until 10 p.m. this evening, and obviously does include Beulah and Beulah Valley, as we already said. So those of you that are in Beulah Valley, downstream of that, should continue to be aware of, that the water is going to keep moving through the system here. So that's where we sit this evening. One more time for you. Here is a look at how things have changed in Beulah Valley, how fast. 5 minutes before this, there was nothing here at Game Gulch on the southwest side of the valley. Then the flow was obviously vigorous, and coming down the hills was still over the bridge at 7:20. At 7:25, started to recede here, and then at 7:30, you can see still flowing, but obviously the wall of water had moved through that area and is continuing right now. And I'll recap for you again that the report, somewhere on the southwest side, I believe on Squirrel Creek, is where a home has come down this evening. And so you can see Squirrel Creek here. This is on the southwest side of the valley, so I'm east of Highway 78. This is near Pueblo Mountain Park. We're looking back up into the hills. Both South Creek and Squirrel Creek experiencing some significant flooding this evening. And Highway 78 is closed at mile marker 14. That according to the Pueblo County Sheriff here. And again, a flash flood emergency continues this evening. So my friends, this is Peaks to Plains weather. I am Matt Meister. I'm going to grab some information. We'll do an update here. I'll shoot for the top of the hour, so keep the Peaks to Plains weather app handy. And this has been another day of significant storm coverage across the area. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings. Those storms are weakening, though. Other areas of heavy rain, if we get additional flash flood warnings, I will let you know. Thanks for checking in with Peaks to Plains weather, our weather together.
This is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to look at your roof, call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.